Hello fellow Riftbounders, in today's video I am going to be doing a deck guide on a legend that I never thought I would be saying this, won a regional qualifier. We are going to be taking a look at the TheManLand's Ornn deck list from the Barcelona regional qualifier, breaking it down, looking in depth at his choices and why he might have chosen this deck to be like that, and then from there playing a game and testing the deck out for ourselves. So, Ornn is not a legend that anyone really had down or predicted to be going and winning a regional qualifier. I had Ornn in mid to low B tier, which is okay. I have said before my tier list that B tier maybe could push to win a regional, but would be very unlikely. But I didn't really see anyone talking about this. So we're going to look through the deck list. We're going to talk about it, say why I think it's good, what I think the key decisions TheManLand made that really helped this legend, explore the deck out, explain the deck, and then play a game and test it out. As a side note, before we get into this, I want to tell you about the Metafy that I've started. I have launched a free community Discord. To join it, all you need to do, the link is in the description for this video. Go to metafy.gg/Zelonius, join for free. You don't have to spend anything, and then you can join my free community Discord. In there's going to be lots of discussion. I want to do monthly community tournaments as we grow. You can discuss deck lists with us, find other people to play a game with. I want it to become a really fun place to play Riftbound. And as well, I've launched a paid Master Yi guide, 16,000 words covering lots of different advanced tips about Master Yi from someone who's gone unbeaten at multiple events at the regionals, obviously side events, and won multiple skirmishes. So if you want to check that out, do have a look. Some of the guide is free to read. And then, yeah, it would be great to see some of you join the free community Discord that I've set up. Just check out the link and sign up through there. So, Ornn. Why is Ornn good? Well, we know Kaiser's good. Kaiser's got a fantastic legend that is basically a free seal for spells. Ornn is for gear. Ornn is basically the Kaiser for gear, obviously slightly different colours. So if you play a seal, you can do it for free with Ornn's thing. It also works on gear abilities as well. So if you're paying like to attach a gear, you can do it for free with Ornn, which is very nice. It's once a turn. And then the chosen champion, I think for the most part, people when they were using Ornn tended to be using the other Ornn that had 2 deflect and got +2 for every, or I think it was +1, I think actually for every gear. And this Ornn's more expensive to play in terms of the power cost. However, he has more base might than the other Ornn, and when you play him, you get to look at the top 4 cards of your deck. If you see a gear, you can reveal 1 and then draw it. And then you get to do this as well when you hold. So I think the reason TheManLand chose this in there is because of consistency. This is just going to allow you to draw. This is not a deck that has a massive amount of draw power. So I imagine this really helps just be consistent with the draw power, which is really nice. The battlefields, I am going to assume game 1 is Ornn's Forge. It's a battlefield that suits you far more than it suits most other decks in the game. Some decks will just get nothing from it. So it's a very nice battlefield, lowering our gear costs, or by 1. Game 1, in terms of go first, I'm going to assume Seat of Power. Seat of Power is a really nice battlefield that you can potentially draw twice off of. And then Veiled Temple, there's a really nice trick you can do from this, where you're able to conquer it. And if you've got a seal, you can tap it to float a power. Conquer this, ready it, and effectively use a seal to get 2 power in 1 turn. Also, if you've got an equipment on a unit you don't really want it on, you can detach it with Veiled Temple. So this is a really nice battlefield. All these battlefields synergize really well with what Ornn's trying to do. I think this deck's a kind of hybrid of mid-range and aggro. It can be very aggro and oppressive, scoring a lot of early points, but late game it's got more options with the sequencing, with putting brutalizers on, Sterix gauges to do a lot. There's a lot more calm runes in here. Simply put, a lot more of your recycle costs are going to come from calm runes. So no discipline, very unusual. We never really see green decks that don't run discipline, but you'll see why when we look through this deck. Charm can be a very powerful spell just to get rid of a key unit or just win the game later on. Defy is huge. There's so many amazing spells in the game that can be defied that for 1 energy and a power it's just huge, and I don't really see a world in which green won't keep running defies. The 2-drops We've got Scuttle Crabs. These are just a nice turn 1 draw. The deck does struggle a bit with draw, plus this allows you to see opponent's hand. Clockwork Keeper. This is pretty nice for draw once you've played a seal. You can do this for free when you play it. Patch Porrabot, again, very nice for draw, and it counts as a gear, which is pretty nice. You can use this to ready the pit crew. The pit crew, you've got 19 gear. You can constantly go into a battlefield, play a gear, go back. So this is a really good unit that just synergizes perfectly with Ornn, and it works with the Patch Porrabot. Lecturing Yordle, I imagine this is just in here as an extra draw. I'm not sure if there's much of a reason to it personally. Aspiring Engineer. They've got gear hate, this is a very nice card to be able to put in. I don't really see why this is in the main deck. I'd be interested to ask TheManLand that. Your gear doesn't really normally in game 1 go to trash, so I don't really see the reason for it being in main. I'd imagine that it's good later on for like gear hate. To be fair, I guess you could use it on Poro Snacks or Guardian Angel, so maybe that's some of the reasoning behind it. Be nice to get Poro Snacks back, I guess, if you need draw. In terms of the gear, it's pretty reasonable, a lot of it. Helm of Suppression as a one-of works really well into spell heavy decks, also into Kennen and Irelia. They don't run loads of gear hate generally, and if you can just get rid of key, it make them have to pay more for the spells, it's huge. Sprite Fountain, this is the best turn 1 in the game, arguably, that Ornn has. You don't de-ramp, you can play it with your legend ability, and you can just put a free sprite out 2 turns in a row. Seal of Focus, this is really good. In Ornn, you have lots of green power costs, so being able to play this for free with Ornn's ability, then have a green rune every turn is huge and makes a big difference. Mask of Foresight, there's honestly an argument for putting more of these in. Mask of Foresight's so good in this deck. Brutalizer, being able to just go in, sequence, and just kill lots of things quick, and then just reattach, it's huge. Poro Snacks, amazing for draw. Absolutely huge. This deck can struggle a bit for draw, so this really helps. Guardian Angel, you might want to put this on like your Ornn. Sterak's Gauge, really good gear, that's massively helpful. Just getting over certain might totals, so I really like that Ornn runs. If you end up with 2 of these, that's +6 might, 3 is 9. Cloth Armor, you can play this for 1 as a quick draw, and it gives you +2 when defending. That can catch people out for 1 energy. And then the Sideboard, the Decrees of Focus. These are really good against red decks, obviously. This is amazing against orange decks. Disarming Rate, obvious gear hate. Pickpocket, really good when you're playing decks that run seals. If you're playing a Kennen, being able to kill the seals with this is quite game changing. So Ornn, one of the reasons TheManLand picked him and built this deck the way he did was it's very good into Kennen. Kennen is the best deck in the game right now. I'm going to aim to do a video in the next week where I talk about Kennen and why he's so good, but more importantly, how to play against him, how to beat him. This is a really good anti-Kennen deck, or tech even. Being able to just kill his gears, seals, get a gold for it, and you're able to have a decent unit out. Not so fast you'd run into really heavy spell decks. So super powerful deck. A lot of the early games built around getting a pit crew online, playing lots of gear, going in and out, using the draw options you've got to keep yourself from getting too low. And then late game, you can just overpower people with really good sequencing and being able to do go in and out constantly, use your seals and play these. And then this Ornn Blacksmith is a really nice solid piece that just allows us to be more consistent. Now I will say before we go into a game, I think this deck takes a lot of skill to pilot, and I'm potentially not going to be very good at it. I think this is a deck that you need a lot of runs into, but we're going to give it a go, and I really like this deck. I love the creativity. Okay, we are here testing this deck out. We really want to early on see Sprite Fountains and Pit Crew. They're pretty huge early on to give us some like kind of presence on the board and get ahead. Kennen, okay, so this is a deck that we are supposed to be good into, but obviously it's reliant on me playing it well. Okay, so we've got a turn 1. Charm's pretty nice. I'd like to keep that for the draw. I don't think GA is huge. I'm going to do that. I don't know. GA is at least turn 1. Okay. So it's not the end of the world, but it's not the turn 1 we want, but it's fine. Maybe would have kept the GA if I'd have known about that. No, sorry, the Defy. Lightning Rush is always an annoying spell to see early on. It means they can start getting what they want. Okay, so this is potentially quite nice what we can do. We can go in there, we get a point. We can now play that for effectively 0, and that might catch him out. I'm going to play this next turn because it means then I can just go in and out. It will come in ready next turn. And then this now, we can just attach it for 0 energy because we've got Ornn's Forge. Kennan's always an annoying unit. I imagine he's going to try Conquer and use this now. So we can catch him out. Trying to stay ahead of here is pretty nice. Should use Kennan's ability, I imagine. If he does, we just play Cloth Armor for free. Discarding stat deck's quite nice. Okay, we don't want him to get a free draw here. Don't think there's much in his deck really that can do here, so there we go. So next turn we should be able to just play a J and go back out. Okay, stack deck. So he's seen 2 stack decks and a Lightning Rush already. When I'm playing these games, this channel's all about trying to help you guys improve. I'm not the best player in the world, but I'm a pretty solid player. Ooh, we might be able to kill Kennen here. This is pretty big. This is pretty big if we can kill Kennen. So we go to Charm's a huge draw there. But yeah, like I said, this channel is all about helping you guys improve. So what I'm trying to do when I'm playing these games is talk through my thought process, explain why I'm doing things, what I'm thinking about the opponent, and hopefully as you watch me play and talk through things, you'll learn things. And of course, ask questions in the comments. That's important. So we are going to charm Kennen because he's on 4 might, we're on 3. We're going to Sterax Gauge for 1, 2, and that. And it's huge. We've also readied that. So now we can go in. We play a GA. And when we play the GA, we get to ready and go in. And then from there, there's not a lot of mobility in this deck. So we have to put the top 2 of our things in the trash. Seal in the trash is pretty annoying, I'm not going to lie. Really didn't want that in the trash. But yeah, we're really low. But next turn we can play the Ornn Blacksmith. And we're already on 3 points and Kennan's not even doing anything yet. We've been a bit lucky that he's not seen a Nocturne yet. He'll probably see one now. He's definitely seen his stat decks and Lightning Rushes though, which is pretty key for Kennen. But yeah, this matchup, if you can kill Kennen, you kill it. It is huge. That card can get so much free value that the second you get an opportunity to get him, you have to get him. But yeah, being able to play this for free at Ornn's Forge was huge, and Ornn's Forge just allows for some really nutty plays at times. Fizz Trickster, pretty annoying. Yep. But we're in a pretty solid position here. We hold to 4 next turn. We can put Ornn Blacksmith down. I might even, put Ornn at a battle. I might even put Ornn at this battlefield with a GA to try and get another hold. And that just really threatens my opponent. Because Kennen doesn't really have ways of getting over certain might totals. Okay, so we go to 4. We go here. It's only when you play the gear. So what I'm going to do now. Actually, no, I'm going to do that. Sorry. I'll do it that sequencing. I'm going to play Ornn there. So we go to do this. Ornn's trigger. Play a gear. Have to reveal a gear. I'm going to reveal that. Sprite Fountain is great, but I would really like the draw. I'm quite low on draw, so that's pretty nice. We recycle the rest. And then this is readied. We go back. I don't really have much else I can do. So I'm going to tap that. When I tap that, I get to draw. And then from that's readied from that, we go there, we go to 5. And then from there, I'm going to tap this, put it on Ornn. We have to recycle because we've already used that. I've now got 6 might, 2 battlefields. Kennen has no way of making his units do more other than through this. He could play a Rasa, and with the Rasa, be able to ride the wind. That's pretty annoying, but we've put ourselves in a good position here. Okay, so this Fizz now is able to get to 7. He could kill out Ornn. It's a tough one for him because does he kill Ornn? And when he kills Ornn from there, he's able to, yeah, you don't want to probably the GA, but I'm going to get hold now, which is nice. So 7, we do die here, which is a bit annoying, but we've got this that we can reattach. I can now go to 6 next turn. He could always ride the window, to be fair, and get rid of this. That would be really annoying. I'm assuming that's probably what he's going to do. Yeah, ride the wind's pretty special. Defy would have been really nice, but I had to get rid of it. There we go. Not a lot you can do about that. We do have free gear though, so next turn we are able to play this and get a draw. I'm so far ahead on points though that it's pretty solid here. If he leaves Fizz there, I doubt he will. He's going to hide a card. That is a bit annoying. There's not a lot I can do to get around that. Okay, so. Trying to think. I think we do the draw just to see what our options are. It's always good if you've got a draw option to be able to potentially play and see what you can do. Defy, very useful. That's a pretty key card. Fizz goes to that. So I definitely want to go here. I think we play the seal. And then, do I want to kill that? Probably not. I think we go there. He's not going to ride the wind, so it's fine. We go to 6. With that, I would love to play the Sprite Fountain right now, but the problem is with the Sprite Fountain, that's on that. But we could play it next turn and double conquer and put a Sterax on it or something. I am tempted to put the Sterax on the Sprite Fountain. I might do that, you know. I'm going to play that. So it only costs 1. We're going to get a Sprite. We get to do that. Put the Sterax on the Sprite. Tap that, so it's on 6. If it's a switcheroo, we've got a switcheroo out of him, and that's pretty big. So it's 6 to 5. If it's not a switcheroo, yeah, we can just defy. Okay, so that dies. I've got the switcheroo out of him. Sometimes it is just getting a resource out of someone. It is a bit annoying that this turn he's going to be able to replay something. I would love to play the Lecturing Yordle, but I probably need to save it for a defy. We've still got Sprite Fountain next turn. I'm in a pretty strong position. I don't need to draw right now, to be honest. I'm going to put this on him. We get Cloth Armor now. He has to get to 7 might. And if he tries to ride the wind again, then we just defy. So we're in a pretty good position here. Next turn, we get another Sprite. I'm saving the Sterax, even though I could hold guaranteed with a Sterax with Ornn. I can next turn patch Porobot, Sterax, go in there. I think he's going to struggle this turn to get over on 7 might, especially when I've got defy. So we're putting our opponent in a pretty rough position, and we can potentially draw more. We've not really seen the full power of Kennen. He's not been able to do the Baron thing. Has he even got Baron in his trash? He's wasted a Nocturne. He's not seen him. He's not seen a Rasa yet. If he starts playing a bunch of Rasas there, it could be annoying. I imagine he's probably just playing Kennen now, which is fine. Okay, Fizz Trickster. He's probably going to ride the wind. Starcrossed is interesting. We just defy. That is why I said that I was saving defy. I wanted to play the Lecturing Yordle, but I knew I needed to save my Defy. Defy is a huge spell in this matchup. He's only got 3 now. If he rides the wind, then I just double conquer next turn anyway. Knowing a deck isn't just about knowing what you can do, it's knowing what your opponent could potentially do. The only real chance he's got here now is if he gets Rasas. Okay, a hidden again's pretty annoying, but there's not a lot we can do about that. We go to 7. We get to do that, so that's pretty nice. Get to play a potential gear. Power Snacks is all right. Okay, Sprite Fountain's fantastic. Really like that. Get that to hand. We're trying to, what you call it? I don't think he's too happy there. Yeah, he's left the game. Okay, there you go. I think honestly we drew pretty well that game. I've played a few games with this deck, and I definitely sequenced far better in that game, I would argue. Ornn is a very powerful deck in the right hands, and it's very anti-meta. And by that, I mean it is brilliant into this Kennen deck. And I think TheManLand, fair play to him, he read what the meta was going to be going into Barcelona, and he built a very good anti-meta deck. I do think this deck still has problems into Master Yi, which, from what people have told me, TheManLand didn't play. So I'd be interested to see what his answer into that deck would be. But it's a very good deck. I think I tried this game a few times over the last few days. I think I played that one a lot better. I do know what Kennen's trying to do quite a lot as well. But sequencing the gear, playing Sprite Fountains well, knowing how to do your draw, there's a lot of ways that you can get a lot out of this deck. I think a bad pilot on this deck would really struggle. I think it takes a lot of reps to get really good at it. That's why TheManLand did so well. And in general, powerful deck, super fun. It's got aggression. It's got lots of draw. There's lots of sequencing skill in it. I really like it, and I definitely think you guys should try it out. I think it's very fun. I will put the deck list in the description. Hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know. Do these type of videos where I'm giving you lots of advice. I'm talking through all my moves. Are they helpful? Do you want me to keep doing them in this format, talking through like that? Appreciate you guys. The support, as always, is huge. You guys are the best. Check out the Meta Fight for the free Discord. Want to see lots of you guys in there. Peace.